This podcast is sponsored by the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is a catalyst for growth and prosperity and is here to protect and promote business, inspire innovation, cultivate communities, and influence action. Learn more at fmwfchamber.com.
Hello there, everyone, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of the In-Forum Business Beat podcast. This is your host, Thomas Evanella. As always, we'll run down the past week in business news, plus I'll be discussing my latest story on a high-performance computing center moving into small-town North Dakota. Remember, if you're interested in reading more on these and all of our business stories, visit inforum.com/business. With all that said, let's get it started. A Fargo business dedicated to decluttering and moving seniors is now under new ownership. Joan Windus is the new owner of Change is Good, a business offering relocation services particularly geared towards seniors who are looking to downsize. Windus came into possession of the business last fall when she acquired it from previous owner Linda Lammers of Sabin, Minnesota. Windus and the Change is Good team demonstrate a knack for helping seniors scale back their earthly possessions. Not only is this a necessity when moving into a smaller space, it has proven to be a burden lifted off the shoulders of both the seniors and their families. An oft-requested store will soon be moving into West Acres. The mall announced Monday, September 26th that an Aerie will be moving in, with an opening date targeted for sometime next year. Aerie is a women's clothing and intimates store and a sub-brand of American Eagle. The new store will move into the former Pink location near Maurice's. Pink will be moving into the remodeled Victoria's Secret in the coming months. It was a few weeks back that we reported on Johnny Carino's closing in Fargo. The once popular Italian chain has also closed its Bismarck location, Helmut Schmidt reported Tuesday. A Johnny Carino's employee, speaking anonymously, said the closing of both locations was due to difficulty finding employees. She told the forum, quote, "It was just all staffing. It's hard to find people. We had several managers that gave notice, and it was just too hard to keep going." Both the Fargo and Bismarck buildings are listed for sale at a price of nearly $2 million. Also on Tuesday, Fargo's Board of Adjustment voted 4-1 to deny Romantics' proposed move to Broadway in downtown Fargo. The battle isn't ending there, however. Matthew Hoffer, the attorney for Romantics, told the forum that the adult entertainment chain is planning to appeal the decision to the Fargo City Commission. The commission will hear Romantics' appeal at their next meeting on Monday, October 3rd. If that appeal fails, Hoffer said the company is planning to take the fight to court, so be sure to continue monitoring inforum.com for updates on that story. Essentia Health also confirmed that it plans to open a new clinic inside the Lights in West Fargo just before Christmas. The clinic will be located on the second floor of the Lights, which is at the intersection of 32nd Avenue South and Cheyenne Street. Services inside the 14,500 square foot clinic will include obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, family medicine, and laboratory and radiology. Al Hurley, a chief operating officer for Essentia, said the Lights offers a central location to serve patients close to where they live and recreate.
Stay connected to your community and save. Just 99 cents a month gets you 3 months of unlimited access to inform.com. Visit inform.com/subscribe and get your first 3 months of news for only 99 cents a month.
For our next segment, I'll be turning over hosting duties to Inforum digital producer Chris Kurzman. Chris will be here to help me discuss my latest story on Applied Blockchain. The company already has a large facility in Jamestown. Now they're expanding into the small town of Ellendale. Why? We'll answer that question and more.
Hey there, Thomas.
How's it going, Chris?
Doing very well. We're back at it with your little line change from host to the guest chair.
Yeah, we've been doing this quite a bit lately. It's kind of fun.
So, Thomas, your most recent story was about a company called Applied Blockchain that's breaking ground, I guess, on a new facility out near Ellendale, North Dakota. So tell us a little bit about Applied Blockchain, what kind of company they are, and what they're doing out there in Ellendale.
So Applied Blockchain is from Dallas, Texas. They are a high-performance computing hosting company. They open data centers. They are fairly new in their development. They had opened a 100 megawatt data center with 8 buildings in Jamestown. Now this Ellendale facility will be their second. They're working on one down their way in Texas. But to get into what they're doing in Ellendale, This is going to be a 180 megawatt facility. It's going to have 14 buildings. They're hoping to open within the first half of 2023. And the cost is going to come in at around $100 million. So this is quite an expensive endeavor they're embarking on in small town North Dakota. And this is going to be located next to the Dickey County electrical substation. It's going to be taking advantage of some of the wind generation that they have down there. And as I mentioned before, they moved into Jamestown not all that long ago. And the company, the name is going to lead a lot of people to think that they're a crypto company. And that is a big portion of what they do. But blockchain does have a lot of other applications in the technical world. Smart contracts are one of the first things that come to mind. Artificial intelligence and machine learning as well. And what they're doing essentially is leasing their computing capacity out to other companies.
Yeah. You're right. So I think we've seen this with a couple other companies that have set up shop in North Dakota as well, where they're doing cryptocurrency mining, but then they're also doing other computing tasks and essentially offloading some computing tasks from other companies that are looking for a big computer, basically, right? Do you know like what percentage of that work they'll be doing for each? Like, did you get any indication of like how much crypto stuff and then how much other stuff they would do?
Now, we didn't get a firm percentage breakdown, but for now, it's going to primarily be based in cryptocurrency. But by the end of this year, the CEO of the company, Wes Cummings, told me that they are going to be moving into other applications in Jamestown. So they're not going to be completely pinned in the crypto world. Like I said, it's going to be things like machine learning, artificial intelligence, smart contracts, anything you can do on the blockchain is something that they want to do. There's a wide variety of applications.
Applied Blockchain already does have one facility in North Dakota, correct? It's out by Jamestown?
Yes.
Yeah. Why are they expanding?
Well, basically the reason they're expanding is North Dakota has a lot of wind energy that it's not using right now, and they want to use it. And, even to backtrack a little bit further than that, Wes Cummings told me that the experience in Jamestown has been really positive for their company, and that's part of the reason they wanted to double down. But really, it's all about this power situation. There is this excess generation of wind energy in these rural areas of North Dakota. And in Ellendale, according to the mayor of Ellendale, Don Flaherty, he called it a power glut. And they have power that is generated by these wind turbines, and it's just not getting used. And then it goes to waste. And what Applied Blockchain is going to be doing is they're going to be drawing some of that excess power before it even enters the grid for general public use. And that will mean less of that power is going to waste. And it actually will have a stabilizing effect for the grid as well.
Yeah, I know that's been a concern that we've heard from other projects like this, that you're essentially they're putting this fairly massive facility with a very large power draw onto the grid. But the way you make it sound, there's a lot of this power that I assume is just sort of bleeding off from wind generation, and they're going to be drawing on that rather than hooking up into the regular power grid.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's kind of the company's strategy here. This is kind of their whole MO is they go out and they search for places where this sort of thing is going on. There's a lot of wind energy and people aren't using enough of it. And that's how they found Jamestown. That's how they found Ellendale. I'm sure it's a similar situation down in Texas where they're building their third facility. And like I said, that's kind of their strategy.
That's really interesting. It might be a topic for a different podcast or a different story about how there's that much of a glut of excess wind energy in the state. So you mentioned you spoke with the mayor of Ellendale. What were some of the concerns that he shared with you, and how did he feel that the company addressed those?
So initially, when this project was first revealed to the residents in Ellendale and Dickey County, there was some apprehension. a lot of people, because of, like the name suggests, Applied Blockchain, their mind just went to crypto right away. And they thought that we're going to have a crypto company move in, and the moment the crypto market goes south, they're going to leave. And they didn't want to see this massive facility go up only for them to pull up stakes once the market flopped. But Mayor Don Flaherty and Wes Cummins both assured residents down there that this is a long-term investment. I mean, you don't spend $100 million to build a facility just to leave in 5 years or even 10 years or probably even 20 years. And they think that because of all these other applications that blockchain has beyond the crypto world, Don Flaherty thinks that this is going to be a really good addition to the local economy in the area there. And the company even did its due diligence on the ground. They held a town hall in Ellendale to assure people, and that went a long way in changing the hearts and minds, so to speak.
Yeah. I believe you mentioned this in your story, about how many jobs do they expect to create there? And are they going to be, are those jobs that they'll be able to find locally or regionally?
They're looking at employing about 30 people there. That's a pretty similar headcount to what they have in Jamestown. That's going to be management positions to processors, any sort of kind of high-tech position. These really are high-tech positions that they're bringing to the state. They're hoping that some of those employees can be drawn regionally, but what's been going on in Jamestown actually is they've been overstaffing there because they're training for people for Ellendale and for Garden City, Texas for their third location. So I assume some of those Jamestown employees are going to move on to Ellendale. They may have to expand their recruiting net a little bit, but the positions have seemingly been pretty attractive. Wes said that they have not had too many difficulties staffing in Jamestown. And, you know, given the wide applications in various positions that they do have, I think they'll probably have similar success in Ellendale.
So how would you put the future then for Applied Blockchain? If it sounds like they're expanding and they're hiring folks and they've got this business model. What kind of future does it look like they have here?
Well, you know, we've got the 100 megawatts in Jamestown. We'll have 180 megawatts in Ellendale. Beyond that, I would not be surprised if we saw more of these come to North Dakota. I mean, we have a lot of wind and we have a lot of small towns, so it kind of seems like a match made in heaven with their business model, which is, like I said before, to find these places where the wind energy is not being used and put it to use. And that facility in Garden City, Texas, that's going to bring them another 200 megawatts. That's going to put them pretty close to 500. Wes believes that they can get to about 1,000. And, you know, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if more of that was right here in North Dakota, because you said right off the top here that this isn't the first crypto or blockchain company to move into North Dakota. I think there will be more here.
Oh, great, Thomas. Well, thanks much. And thanks for your reporting.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, Chris. That wraps up this week's episode of the Inforum Business Beat podcast. This has been your host, Thomas Evanella. Check back next week for another episode, but in the meantime, stay locked on inforum.com/business for all the latest news.